You guys already know that Season 1 of Chapter 2 here in Fortnite Battle Royale is one of the most innovative, creative, and different seasons that we've ever had in Fortnite. Obviously, playing on a brand new map makes this season leaps and bounds ahead of any other season in terms of differences that make the season stand out. And in general, Epic's approach to content this season is pretty wild. We don't see patch notes anymore. Sometimes the updates end up dropping completely out of the blue without any prior announcement. The Battle Pass tiers are now equivalent to levels, so on and so forth. Safe to say Chapter 2 Season 1 launched on a very hot note, and who's to say it's not going to go out with a bang as well. Throughout Chapter 1, we saw a ton of crazy in-game events, ranging from the original rocket launch to the end event last season, all of which attracted millions upon millions of viewers each time they went down. So, here in Chapter 2, all eyes are now on the final few weeks of Season 1 as we approach the first ever Chapter 2 live in-game event to conclude Season 1 in what could be the biggest event in Fortnite history. Epic has been known to raise the bar with each new installment to the live events category, and being that this is the first event of our entire chapter, it's going to dictate where exactly the storyline goes for presumably the next 9 seasons, so this one is bound to be big. And today we're breaking down a handful of theories and rumors regarding the Chapter 2 Season 1 live in-game event. So if you guys enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a like rating on it, and without further ado, let's get into it. So before we break down our theories for today, let's first talk about when the event should be happening. Previously, we've seen quite a few live events take place on Saturdays, whereas the end event took place on a Sunday. So from that info alone, we can assume the Season 1 finale event will either take place on a Saturday or on a Sunday. We also know that the finale events usually take place within the last week or so of any given season, so once again that does help when narrowing down the timing. Now, despite there not being an official countdown timer on the Battle Pass screen this season, we do know that originally it said that Season 1 would last for 54 days, meaning Season 1 would come to a close on December 8th. But aside from Season X, we have never seen a season end on a Sunday. So as we mentioned in our Chapter 2 Season 2 leaks video the other day, I would expect there to be a slight delay in the launch of Season 2, as we'll probably see some overtime challenges go live and extend this season by at least a few days. So with that in mind, I would say sometime before December 12th we'll see the finale event take place for this season, with November 30th, December 1st, December 7th, and also December 8th being the most likely dates on which the event will actually take place. But of course that could be narrowed down even more, and when we get some more solidified info on the actual event date, we'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop, so stay tuned for that. Now, getting into the theories for today, we've got 3 main ones to discuss that are all honestly pretty possible, since the storyline this season is a bit convoluted, as we're not too entirely sure what exactly is going on and what the storyline is actually based around. But there are a few things on the map right now that could be major points of interest, no pun intended, when it comes to deciphering this season's story. The first place we're going to turn to is the North Islands on the map, more specifically the lighthouse. Now, the lighthouse here is a bit odd because it houses a picture of Dusty Depot from the original Fortnite Island, and according to an Epic Games employee, the person who apparently lives at this lighthouse has a few other secret belongings scattered across the island as well, which leads us to believe that this character knows a whole lot about the Fortnite universe. Now, the lighthouse's light is active. It's something you can see in-game from multiple different vantage points, and obviously it is used to guide in ships from the sea and keep them away from the rocks. So what if the lighthouse is actually the epicenter of the finale event this season, as whatever the event is based around actually comes from the sea? We saw back in Season 8 that pirates invaded the OG island, but that was simply to give us some new skins for the Battle Pass. But what if we had a whole event based around pirates where perhaps they tried invading the islands in hordes with crew members galore that started to flood the island trying to loot and plunder pretty much anything and everything they could find? I mean, to be fair, we do get our loot from treasure chests, and well, obviously pirates and treasure chests kind of go hand in hand. So maybe we'll see the lighthouse flash some kind of warning signal prior to the pirates coming to the island, or it'll give off some kind of other clue instead. We could also see the Kraken monster come to the island from the North Sea as well, which once again allows the lighthouse to provide some context to the event. If you spend enough time here on YouTube, you've probably seen the Kraken event starting now. Drop a like to make the Kraken appear on screen content that just kinda seems to flood the gaming section day in and day out. And while it is obviously not happening right now, a Kraken could very well be coming to the island later on in this season in yet another potential battle scenario in which we have to defend the island from being torn apart by a giant sea monster. Moving on from the lighthouse though, our next theory is in regards to the mysterious military-like bunker that sits in the side of a mountain in the lower right-hand portion of the map. Now, this bunker is not like any that we've ever seen in Battle Royale before. It does not take the form of the bunker that we saw back in Wailing Woods, or the one that we had on the iceberg, or the one that's outside of Retail Row, or the one that is on the ocean floor. Instead, this bunker is massive and it is virtually indestructible and seemingly missing something in the very center of it. You might have noticed I specifically said we have never seen a bunker like this before in Battle Royale, but we have seen a bunker like this in Save the World, as in the original trailer featuring Dr. Vinderman, he escapes into a bunker that looks pretty much just like this one, except instead of a blank circle in the very center of it, the bunker that Dr. Vinderman entered had a V-Buck logo on it instead. So maybe, just maybe, this bunker is another one that actually belongs to Dr. Vinderman. Now, I'm not the only one that actually thinks this could be the case, and some people in the community have gone even further and said that Dr. Vinderman is actually already in Battle Royale. However, he is using a disguise, or an alias if you will, as he is actually the Visitor. I mean, the connections are kind of there, it would make sense. The Visitor has the alter ego of the Scientist, and Dr. Vinderman is a scientist too, so I think that could add up quite nicely. Plus, both the Visitor and Dr. Vinderman know a whole lot about the world of Fortnite and all the various oddities it contains. And actually, now that I think about it, apparently so does the person who lives in the lighthouse. So what if Dr. Vinderman actually lives out of the lighthouse at times? You know, maybe he owns a timeshare there. I don't know, it honestly doesn't sound all that far-fetched. Anyways, getting back on track, this bunker is really the single biggest mystery that we have on the new Apollo Island, and players are beginning to think that during the finale event this season, this bunker is actually going to open and the secrets inside of it will be revealed. Whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether there's something else entirely, players will then be able to see inside of the bunker, see what it actually contains in it, and then a bit later on we'll actually be able to explore a bit further inside of the island as well, and this will be some kind of alternative place to loot and rotate to. So that's kind of a win-win if that does end up being the case. Then the final theory for today is in regards to some kind of boss fight event that includes the entire community coming together in order to defeat some kind of boss and protect the Fortnite island. Obviously, a few weeks back we saw the Storm King event for Fortnitemares, but that LTM was a bit more holiday themed and less story based. But we have been speculating for a while now that eventually Epic will host some kind of community boss fight where everyone playing and attending the event in-game will actually be able to help defeat some kind of massive boss. Whether that's the Kraken sea monster, a horde of undead pirates, aliens, the Visitor and his group of 7, or something else completely different. The Storm King LTM provided a nice glimpse at what this event could potentially look like, but imagine an event like that, however just on a much larger scale, where perhaps parts of the map could be destroyed by the boss or bosses even, and it's entirely up to the players to help keep the island in one piece before the boss causes some serious damage. To be honest, this theory could even bleed into the other prior ones as well, as the Kraken, the pirates, and whatever could emerge from the secret bunker could all be serious threats to the island and its well-being. So when it comes to the final event for Season 1 here in Chapter 2, what do you think sounds the most exciting? Would you want a horde of pirates to attack the island? Would you want to see a Kraken emerge from the ocean and destroy the coastline? Or do you want to see the bunker open up and reveal all of its secrets? Be sure to drop your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a big old thumbs up, drop a like on it, as it would be much appreciated. And of course, if you are new here and you like what you see, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know when a new video goes live. With all of that being said though, that is effectively going to wrap things up for now. So thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you guys on the battle bus. Peace out.